Hey, this is Sam from Smash Critic. I'm with my boy. What's your name?
Chase Cooley, the
Chase
best cousin
Cooley.
on earth.
Yeah, dude. Best cousin on earth right here with me. For blood. This is episode number 3 on Ready Player One. This is let's see, it's PG-13. It should be playing in like every theater right now. It came out last weekend, like March 29th. It's pretty much clean. I think there's like a little bit of language, and like there's like some little sketchy part that's more freaky than actually like sexual or anything when they're in the haunted house, you know. So, anyways, we won't tell you. This is kind of spoiler free. We'll try to keep it spoiler free. We'll talk about generals kind of thing. But yeah, go see it. So, anyways, Chase, you read the book and saw it a few times, right?
Read it twice and saw the movie twice.
Dang! So we got an expert.
I wasn't too picky about it though.
Yeah.
Like I went in knowing that the movie was going to be a lot different from the book, so I kind of looked for the things that they had in common the most time of the movie.
Yeah. Did you feel?
But
like,
I wasn't. What?
Did you feel like it was pretty close to the book?
I mean, I feel like they did the best that they could in their own way because you can't really condense the book.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. There's a lot that takes place in the book and that's not shown in the movie, and I feel like they did their own adaptation of it was the best that they could have done compared to the book.
So you feel like viewers don't really need to read the book to fully enjoy the movie because they're kind of separate?
No. And I would almost say, like a bunch of my friends that I went with, were all glad that they didn't read the book before they went in. Otherwise, they felt like if they couldn't, they would be more nitpicky about it.
Yeah, like higher expectations kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And it's not like, and it's definitely like, I think they could not have done it any better, personally.
That's cool.
Because that's just for me knowing going in, like, okay, this is going to be completely different from the book, and then seeing, like, their perspective of the book in their own way.
Yeah.
It was really cool in the way that they did it and everything. So,
now,
I only had a few complaints here and there, but, I mean, I guess, I don't know if it's necessarily a spoiler or not, but it's basically between the love relation between Artemis and Parsifal. That kind of bugged me in the movie because I felt like it was rushed a little quick. But
sure, yeah.
You kind of get a little bit in the movie where he's totally like into watching her on Twitch and he's a fan of her.
Right.
And it definitely builds up. It takes a longer time in the book. So in the movie, I felt like the second time you see Artemis, he's basically announcing his love for her. So
yeah, infatuated. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you have some other parts that you didn't like or parts that you liked a lot, and I bet it'll come up and kind of like the questions that I asked, like specific elements of the movie and how you would rate them 1 out of 5. So like the first one. Well, I mean, I think character development is kind of what you were saying, but that's second. So we'll get to that in just a second. But acting, what do you think about acting overall? Any parts
acting,
that were especially good or
I
bad?
felt everybody was pretty strong. Besides, I'm not sure if I 100%. I loved the main character as his character in the game.
Oh yeah.
But outside of the gaming world, the main character I wasn't all for it. But I was mainly, he had me in on his character. I felt like there's more passion behind his character than there was behind the actual person.
Dude, I felt the same way. I mean, and I guess that goes a bit into like character development, and even like there's like there's 5 sections. One of the elements that we talk about is story as well. And I felt like the movie really did kind of put their best foot forward with what was happening within the Oasis, you know, within the game, the characters and all of that. Yeah. And it feels a bit disconnected, like between reality and like the game, like personality-wise and everything.
My favorite character outside of the Oasis is the main villain in the show, because I feel like he totally fulfills that role
Yeah.
But everybody else, I feel like it was pretty disconnected between the Oasis and the real world.
For sure. Yeah, that's a good call. The villain's really good in it. He's the same bad guy from Rogue One, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, in Star Wars.
Yeah, he's just kind of this like squirmy little just snake, you know.
And then he's a buff Clark Kent in the game.
Yeah,
so
totally.
I was more behind him on both sides compared to all the other actors.
Okay. So maybe acting. What would you give that out of 5?
Out of 5, it's a tough one. I'd give it probably like a 4, and not a 5 because of the real world characterization. But in the game, I mean, I felt like it was all the way there. So
right. Okay. Well, sweet. Yeah, just like a little bit of flaw there, but yeah, I can agree with that. I think I didn't really see much problem with acting necessarily. It just kind of like stuff like you said, like. Anyways, well, yeah, transitioning, character development. Again, you just didn't feel really connected to the real people that much for me. Yeah, like they got you. The first 40 minutes of the movie or whatever is like pretty much all inside the game. So you get invested, and then all of a sudden you're like taken out of it, and you're like, I don't really care about
that ride.
This dude
It's kind of
like
over.
Aunt. I don't care about this dude and his aunt and his crappy aunt's boyfriend. Like, yeah, it's just you didn't really care about what was going on outside of it, almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I was personally more interested in the Oasis and diving deeper into the Oasis, because when you read the book, I mean, you're along this ride throughout the Oasis, and you're going to all these different places. And I felt like the real life stuff, like, yeah, you have to have it in order to make the movie. But I felt like every time it transitioned to real life, other than Oasis, I was not as invested in it as I was in the Oasis and the story that's going on in there. So,
yeah, dude, yeah, I'm on the same page there. And I really want to.
I think because for me, the whole time it's like it's all about 80s, 90s pop culture, and I love that stuff. And so the whole time I'm like, I want to be in this universe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then once I go back to the real life, I'm kind of like, eh.
Yeah. Well, it's like Avatar. If Avatar, the movie was like, if like half of it was the characters back on Earth just hanging out.
Yeah.
You just want to get back to Pandora, you know?
Yeah, take me back there. I'm more interested in that.
No, totally. Yeah. So yeah, character development, I would probably give it like a 3 out of 5. I thought that was like probably one of the weakest parts. I just didn't really care about them. And yeah, they like he went through like a cool transition from like being scared outside of the Oasis to like taking risks and saving the day. Still kind of within the Oasis, but you know, he becomes a hero. But yeah. Overall, like I thought, like the character development just kind of.
Yeah, and I think that it also has to come with having the real life character versus the Oasis character.
Yeah.
Because I was like 100% invested in the Oasis character. Like I was rooting for him all the way, you know.
Yeah.
But I was so invested in the Oasis that I didn't want to be taken out of that, I guess you could say.
They might have, in the movie, they might have done it too much.
Yeah.
Taking you out of it, or too drastically taking you out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So yeah, story. I feel like story kind of goes along with what we've been saying quite a bit. Or, hold up. Wait, story's last. Never mind. Sorry. Dialogue. Dialogue was another part that I wanted to talk about. As far as like that, I felt like kind of most of what happened outside of the Oasis reality, you know, it was hard to follow because I didn't quite get what they were doing because they didn't talk about it clearly enough, you know?
Yeah. And I think that's the thing that that's one of my other pet peeves from the book is when they're outside in the real world, it's not necessary. You're just kind of seeing what his day-to-day life stuff is. Yeah. And that's kind of where the book and the movie kind of differ from each other, because I don't want to spoil anything. But but their whole agenda with him meeting up with her and stuff like that,
Right.
and it completely. I don't think the story went a good way with that direction. If that makes sense.
No, that's fair. I think. Yeah. I just didn't really know what they were gonna do next, and like you could tell they weren't trying to surprise you or anything. It just felt like they didn't explain it well enough. So
no, yeah, they're kind of just throw you into it.
Yeah, but I mean that comes with trying to adapt a book into a movie again. You kind of rush. Right?
Exactly.
But, okay, what did you think about dialogue overall? Maybe like another 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I agree with 3 out of 5.
Okay, so this one I'm probably gonna guess it's a 5 out of 5. It was for me. Like artistic value, so like special effects and just visuals and stuff. It was so fun. It's the funnest.
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
What was the cherry on top for me is in one scene when they're in the library and you notice he's wearing a Thundercats belt, and you're just
cool.
like, oh, okay, that's super cool. That's super cool. And then in every scene, you're like, I see like 20 different characters from different pop culture things in this one scene. So it's like you're almost like on this little treasure hunt throughout the whole entire movie. You see all these different characters and stuff like that.
Dude, I definitely felt like I was missing a lot, like, because in every scene there's so much, and I could recognize just a couple of them, but I knew in the back of my head, like, oh man, this is probably
there's so many
references and Easter eggs right here. But, it's
like I know
totally fun.
the one problem I had during the movie is I kept turning to my buddy. I'm like, dude, did you just see like that was Jason and Freddy?
Oh
and
yeah, cool.
There's like the Iron Giant or Gundam was in it.
Right.
Or
Halo this is all in the trailer. This is all in the trailer, so it's not spoilers.
Yeah, and like to me, the biggest scene I was waiting for was the Gundam scene, and I was definitely had me. But
yeah, man. I mean, the first race, the race at the beginning, and then there's this huge battle at the end. Like, all of that is just like the culmination of just like, oh yeah, this is so dope. And
when I saw the T-Rex from Jurassic Park jump out, I was like, immediately thought of you. I was like, dang, he's gonna like that part.
Also, yeah, totally. I loved it. Yeah, dude, just the fact that like Spielberg and like there must have been a lot of other either directors or production companies that just were cool with giving their rights to their creation, you know, and like putting it all together is pretty dope. You don't see a lot of that, like. You don't see a lot of movies referring to other movies ever.
No,
and this movie referred to like so many, and like TV shows,
so many
video games.
Cool. Video games, arcade games, old animes, TV shows, and that's how literally the book is.
Yeah, that's cool.
I know one thing that's not in the movie. In the book, he has his own asteroid base, Parseval, and he has the X-wing. His X-wing is his main vehicle of choice, and so I thought that was pretty cool.
That's dope.
But yeah, it was just you get lost in the world of the Oasis. That's the best way to put it.
Oh yeah, I felt that during this movie for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, okay, 5 out of 5 for artistic value.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Cool. All right, and then story overall, we talked a bit about how the story was weak in some spots. I've kind of like tried to, you know, approach like a movie like this that's like less about like the characters. And, you know, it's like an Avengers movie or something. You don't really care. You don't really go for like, you know, to see the perfect acting or the characters. You go to have fun, you know. And considering that, I thought all in all, the story was pretty dang fun. I'd probably, you know, I'd say maybe a 4 out of 5, but maybe like a 3.5 out of 5. But if I were gonna just rate it on like a fun meter alone, I'd give it like a 4 or higher, you know, because it was so fun. What do you think?
I think for the story, for me, definitely had its like weak spots coming from reading the book and everything. But I mean, I came into it knowing it's.
Sorry, you're paused.
I mean, I'm like ready to do it. For me, it's back 4. I'm paused. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you repeat that? Okay.
For me, for me, I went in like ready to enjoy the ride and ready to go, and I'm gonna see as many characters as possible, and I was like pumped for it.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's some little things I was bugged about, but I'd say altogether I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Okay.
Yeah.
What I think I'm gonna do. So, you like the movie overall? Would you say 4 out of 5 then?
For me personally, yeah. That's a movie I could watch 3 or 4 more times.
Well, cool. Any last thoughts or encouragements to go see it or anything like that?
I just think if you are totally, it brings out the nerd in you. So if you are totally into like video games like I am, or anime, or just even like finding a good fun story, I highly suggest going and seeing it. It's an easy movie to get lost into. I
agree. I think there's something in it for everyone too. You know, I think it's way cool that like even people our dad's age or maybe even older can enjoy it for themselves because there's a reference that is from maybe not their childhood, but like actually like the Shining.
Even music.
And the music too. Yeah, they incorporate music from other movies. And I just think anybody that goes is gonna be like, oh, cool! I know that thing from that one movie or whatever.
Yeah.
It's fun for everyone. Anyways.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, dude. Thank you, Chase Booling, for being our co-host.
Of course, anytime.
All right, man.
I go see movies every Tuesday on $5 Tuesdays.
Dude, we got the movie pass, so every day is like a $0 day. Movie pass is so dope. But it probably won't last very long.
My next movie is A Quiet Place. That's what I'm gonna go see.
Oh man, yeah, that's Shayla and mine's as well. I think we might see it tomorrow night, if not really soon. But yeah, dude, it looks so good.
Let me know how it is, because I'm very interested in that movie. It looks really good.
Dude, Jim Halpert.
Isn't he from The Office?
He's starring, from The Office. His name's Jim on The Office. I think his real name is John Krasinski. Him and his wife are the main characters.
Oh, okay.
And he directed it and wrote it.
Yeah, you know what it's about, right?
It's like it's I don't know if they're creatures or aliens.
Yeah,
but they're
creatures.
Like blind or something, right?
And they pick up on noise.
Yeah.
And so they have a daughter who's deaf, and the whole family talks in sign language, because if you're out in the open, if you make any noise, you basically die instantly.
Dude,
they zone in on you. So I'm excited for it. Seems like a good thriller.
Yeah, it looks nuts, man. I'm pumped. Well, yeah, I'll let you know how it is. And if you see it first, do the same. But yeah, man. Thanks again for making this happen.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me.
All right, man. I love you. I'll let you know about Boise for sure. We'll get talking about it.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good,
man.
That's
a summer.
Our house is always open, so.
You're awesome. That's a summer priority now. All right, dude.
All right,
have a good time in California. Love you.
Yeah, I will.